So I've finally finished Arcane Season 2, and boy oh boy it was rushed. Now before you start angry typing away in my comments thinking that I hate the show or anything like that, that is not the case. You need to calm your tits. What I mean is that I think the show is amazingly done. It's just fantastic in a lot of ways. The action, the art, the music, choreography, for like so many of these things are fantastic. But where the story is concerned, it's definitely rushed in a few places. So I just want to get my honest thoughts about how I feel about some of these things, and if you agree with me, go ahead and tell me in the comments. If you disagree, I think that's fine as well. The first one that I want to get across here is we look at Jinx and Vi's team up in this season, and it kind of pissed me off because we saw Vi at her lowest point, right? Just look at her. She is beaten, broken, and ugly, right? This is the weakest we've ever seen Vi. Yeah, sure, at the beginning of the montage, she started out strong, whooping people's asses left and right. That's the Vi that we love to see. But if you're a person that's paying attention to the story, you could tell that she is literally drowning her sorrows in combat, and also a lot of alcohol. Right? You could tell that everything that happened is weighing on her to like so much that she is starting to break down, and that's where we get this image. In my opinion, I think Arcane would be so much better if it had a few more episodes, maybe 4 episodes, enough time to breathe, enough time to let its audience and characters sit in these uncomfortable moments for these characters. Because I think seeing a character like Vi fight with her version of weakness would have been so fucking great for her development. You know, I think it would have been beautiful, but they just did a montage, and that's because they did not have the time they needed to finish the season in a certain amount of episodes, and I genuinely think that added to that rushed feeling that I mentioned. Anyway, so it goes to the whole team up thing again. As I said, this is after we obviously find out that Vanda is still alive and he is Warwick, and Jinx just kind of shows up, writes her name on her face, and then they have like a face-to-face, and Vi is just automatically trusting her and going along with her. And I'm like, you know, you don't go from wanting to kill your sibling, like making up your mind to kill your sibling, to then going on a rescue daddy mission like like sometime later, you know, especially when you're going through all of this trauma. If you're going through this type of trauma, you're not in a very trusting position. I think it was very, very rushed the way that they decided to go with this thing. You know, the next thing that I want to talk about here is like this is much later at the end too, the whole sex scene between Caitlyn and Vi. I think it was poorly handled. Like, a lot of people are memeing it, as you can see on the screen here. I'm gonna go delete myself, and then they're literally been having lesbian as this other YouTube guy says, shakalaka boom boom. They're just sucking face, man, instead of worrying about Jinx, the person who's off to go, well, do that off herself. You know, to me it's so crazy that they didn't even pursue her or anything. The getting jiggy was way more important. Vi said, listen, fuck it, I'm tired of waiting, I cannot take this anymore, I want the box, I want that kitty in my mouth. anyway, alright, oh, I was supposed to say cupcake, oh my god. Alright, okay. Point being is I found that they mishandled this scene here, and I just want to go back to my next point here is I want to go and talk about Ambessa, the way they dealt with Ambessa's character. Now, the biggest disappointing part for me here is a lot of the times Ambessa would have won, but she just did the typical villain standing over you and talking shit, and that's why she loses a lot of the times. And it kind of pissed me off because they showed Ambessa to be someone who is truly like a veteran at this shit, you know, and I think those aren't mistakes that someone like her would be making. like standing and gloating and yapping a lot just because you've beaten down someone. I think that's kind of bullshit. It's like, to me, it's okay, like, it's unnecessary for her character. A character like that is going to go for the kill once that opportunity presents itself. But once she's dealing with any of the other main characters, it's almost like that switch is turned off, and it kind of pissed me off. Another big thing that really pissed me off is they skipped over the fight between Ambessa and Warwick. They just literally skip it over. We saw her put the mask on, and then they just cut to another scene, and I'm like, oh man, like, this show, it needs so much more time to breathe. There's a lot of other things that I have issue with in the show, but I don't want to just sit here complaining. You know, I think that's not going to really, you know, get anywhere. I just wanted to talk about these few points that I had. I genuinely love the show. I think it's great and everything, but I truly enjoyed season 1 way more than I enjoyed season 2. Season 1 had its characters in pretty much a similar amount of time, way more developed than the ones in season 2, right? And if you disagree, I think that's fine, but I truly enjoyed season 1 way more. A lot more than I did season 2. Yes, season 2 had a lot more crazy moments, but it just is what it is. Like, even if you look at the screen now and you see the whole scene with what was her name, Aisha? Yeah, I've seen people crying and blubbering over this on Twitter and TikTok, and people are like crying how she sacrificed herself and all of that, but her character just didn't do much for me. Because one, she just wasn't around long enough. She genuinely didn't get enough time to develop, you know, and it just is where it is. I know it's gonna sound greedy, it's going to sound very greedy, but I truly wish that Arcane had way more episodes, at least like 5 episodes. You know, I said like 4 maybe before, but now like 5 more episodes I think would have done this show so much justice. But anyway, tell me what you guys think, if you agree, you disagree. Let me know your thoughts down below, and subscribe if you want to give me that Christmas gift that keeps on giving. Right, I'm getting very close to actually making money on this channel, and I fucking need it. I need all the help I can get. My medication for my granddad is expensive, okay? So help me out with that. And yeah, everybody else have a good rest of your day. I'm super hyped to see what they do in the future Arcane universe. I'm like super fucking excited, you know? Anyway, alright, later.